The reason I got involved in this was because of Jay DeFina. I saw a veteran, a Marine, a young guy, been with the department 10 years. I only talked to him, maybe a half dozen times, but I talked to a lot of his friends, and I'm a good judge of character. And I saw someone who was basically yanked through the mud for political reasons, and I believe systematically targeted and basically taken out. Now, after that happened, I did a little more investigation and saw that he had commendations, second in his sergeant's exam in the state level. Those are significant things that didn't lead to me to believe that he was incompetent. I see a person that was probably a whistleblower, that was pushed into a corner. I participate in all sorts of issues, and I'm maybe not as politically savvy. I kind of speak my mind, but the fact is, a few people keep bringing this thing about personnel files. I look at those personnel files and I say they were used or are used for purposes other than training or nurturing or bringing these people along. Matter of fact, I look at it as equivalent to beating somebody in places you can't see the bruises. That's why those things come up, because you can't read them. So they want to have, they want to use them as something of, if you knew what I knew, you'd think differently. That's what I keep hearing. So, as a citizen, one of the reasons that we don't really, I think, approach this is we vote in people to do this work. And one of the first things we look for is fiduciary responsibility. Now, I look at this commission and I say, well, thank God Mrs. McHugh is on board. There's a thing called a mission, a mission of facts or a mission of items. And one of the things I saw, which I think Mrs. McHugh mentioned, she said, well, what if I would have known that those officers got that the command staff got a 2.5% raise in July, maybe I would have thought differently. It's an act of omission. Not one of those guys on that commission said, well, as we're looking at this raise, just so you know, bringing up to speed, we gave them a 2.5% raise. To me, that was a lie. An act of omission is a lie. So the question becomes, when I look at the commission, is it really a commission of 3, or is it a commission of 2 against 1? So, I kind of look at my father was a commissioner up in Claremont for a while, and they lived up there, and one of the things that he said to me was, the commission always has to be the proponent of the citizen. It's supposed to be that block in there. They can't be friends of the chief and buddy-buddy with them. The fact is they have to have a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayer, period. And they have to make the chief justify these reports. I put that right there, the need-to-know culture of information protection. That's what we have here. There is no freedom or transparency, or, they won't give you things. Why? So you can make a good judgment, a call based on everything. No, they're hiding stuff. For what reason? You're going to finally get that information. So, I guess back to this whole thing of why people don't come forward. We basically say we vote you in to make those decisions. You're supposed to be taking that on our behalf while we worry about feeding our families and living through this economic climate. So the other thing too is it's the police chief. My wife says, why the hell are you doing this? As if she thinks that the chief is going to have one of his guys, do something to me. So that's the kind of, and not to say he wouldn't, he's a nice guy and I've talked to him. But the fact of the matter is that when you look at it, a lot of people say, just don't get involved. But the other people do that. That's usually why it happens. But just look at what happened, what you guys are dealing with. We had a situation where the chief approached a legislator and said, if you go and put this legislation, well, I'm going to hang out looks at laundry. In my line of business, that's called bureaucratic corruption. I'm sorry, that's what it is. If you say you're going to do something and you have power, it's not a money thing. It's just a fact, and Did he go up there to testify? No. This chief does things by proxy. So my guess is he probably has somebody up there lobbying on his behalf. But anyhow, that's my 2 cents. Thank you very much.
Thank you.